This is a montage that was put together of some of the most extreme reactions. You guys might enjoy watching this. It's SOT 15.
The worst thing about it is that Tucker, to me, was always a dumb person's idea of what a smart bigot sounded like.
He arguably has done more on cable television to spread the gospel of hate, fear, and paranoia than anyone since radio propagandist Father Coughlin in the Nazi era of the 1930s.
And as a result, whomever succeeds Tucker Carlson in Fox's coveted 8 p.m. time slot will be contending with an audience that has grown accustomed to watching the man who curated the most racist show in the history of cable news.
This doesn't mean that Fox is going to course correct, are they? Because there's a whole hell of a lot of other people at Fox that need to go also.
That's like... Okay.
That's amazing. Wow.
Moynihan, Father Coughlin, same thing. That's
Father
what Rachel Maddow said too.
Yeah, Father Coughlin and Rachel Maddow just did a very bad podcast that references Father Coughlin. So I know she knows what she's talking about, because Father Coughlin was a radio priest from Michigan who was a raving anti-Semite. First he was a big supporter of the New Deal, and then he quite outspokenly said Jews are controlling the world and they're ruining the world. If you think there's a parallel between Tucker Carlson and someone who was effectively a Nazi, like a real Nazi, saying that the Jews control the world, that is the wildest thing I have ever seen. I mean, this is an expectation from MSNBC. But Megyn, I have a bone to pick with you, because when this happened, I said, I have to listen to Megyn's show yesterday. So what do? Pottering around the house, I listen to your show. And you do something that no one else does, that it intrudes upon my life with the fucking View. I have avoided this thing for so long, and I only come across it on your damn show. And this woman, I don't even know her name, but she starts singing
Anna Navarro.
Hey, goodbye. Yeah, Anna Navarro, who is like one of these conservatives that was a conservative for 5 minutes so she can be a conservative on The View. And I was thinking about this, and I said, this is the funniest, most deranged thing in the world. It's almost as if, if Steph Curry was going to be traded from the Golden State Warriors, people say, oh, he's done. He's out of basketball. No, he's on a different team now. You're not getting rid of him. 3.5 million people watch him, and they love him. Do you believe that he's gone? Good
And they're
Lord.
like, now he won't have any
done for
influence.
you.
Like, oh, just like Ben Shapiro has no influence and Joe Rogan has no influence whatsoever. Like, none. Well, okay. By the way, because I knew you were coming, I baked this cake for you. From today's View, Moynihan, watch and enjoy.
I am stunned because I hate that people are comparing Tucker's firing with Don's firing. That's a false equivalency. False equivalency. And just to put a button on it, Don, yes, said some things that were sexist and I think ageist. He apologized for them and received formal training.
He has been on the air for a long time fighting bigotry, whereas Tucker has been fomenting bigotry. So there's a big difference there. And yes, he did say some dumb things.
And apologized. And Tucker never apologized for anything.
But I only know...
If you're concerned that somebody is a misogynist, why would you put them with two women to do a show? If you feel that way, if you feel that concern.
It's CNN's
Too dumb for
fault.
TV.
The misogyny is CNN's fault.
Too dumb
Good
for
Lord.
TV. I mean, listen, Whoopi's, she was raising a good question because according to Variety, he has a long history of misogyny at CNN. Why did they put him with those two co-hosts? But she's too stupid to actually figure out, oh, wait a minute, he actually might have a long history of misogyny. Go read the reports.
And the big difference, by the way, that Sonny was talking about there, actually the really big difference is one is very good at his job and the other is very bad at his job. And it took
and popular.
Exactly. And it took CNN a really long time to fire the guy who was bad at his job. And Fox News took what seems like a pretty quick opportunity to get rid of the guy who's really good at his job. And I'll let listeners, because they're smart enough to distinguish between what might be the difference there. It could have something to do with their politics, but it's just so funny to hear them cheerleading the ouster. And by the way, we take for granted, because everyone here knows that, of course, the media repeats these awful things about Tucker Carlson. Carlson that are not based in fact night after night, even if you don't like Tucker Carlson, even if you don't agree with him, to smear him as a racist along the lines of Father Coughlin. I mean, just unbelievable. But they're repeated uncritically on MSNBC and CNN. And it's just no big deal that you're smearing someone baselessly as like a virulent anti-Semite racist bigot. And it's just a shrug. And they just take their plaudits for it and move on.
I want to get back to him.
Get, like, virtue signal points for it.
I want to get back to Father Coughlin 1 second. But can we just spend 1 minute, Moynihan, on Don Lemon apologized and received formal training.
He went to the camp.
It's like he went to the camp. China. He's been re-educated in about 48 hours, and now he's fine. Look, the thing about that is, like, that's not the reason you should fire Don Lemon. Honestly, you should fire Don Lemon because he's bad at his job, as Emily said. I agree. And it's reflected in the numbers. I mean, it is a false equivalence. 3.5 million to what, 200,000? Not the same thing?
Literally under 300,000. That's what his morning show draws.
What did he have? The 8 o'clock slot? And then he's put into the morning, and he can't produce anywhere. If he was producing, I think they'd be a little more forgiving. But the idea that he said something stupid, like, look, cable news is about saying stupid things. I mean, media exists for stupid things, right? We enjoy this. Stupid. And Don Lemon has said some really stupid things. And I was reminded the other day, I was talking to my friend and the friend of the show too, Camille Foster. And I said, do you remember when he said that the missing plane was eaten by a black hole? It was like, oh yeah, this is, maybe guy is not great at his job. And that was the first indication to me. Yeah.
And by the way, to those dumbasses over at The View, he did not apologize. He sent out a Twitter attempt at an apology. He never said anything on the air apologizing to Nikki Haley or the millions of women that he did offend with that comment. So maybe you need a little re-education. Going to bed at a decent hour did not always mean I got enough sleep. Often I was too hot or too cold or just not that comfortable. That changed with my Cozy Earth bedding, the softest, most luxurious, and responsibly sourced bedding on the planet. Cozy Earth bedding is naturally temperature regulating, so I sleep great in any weather. And I am not alone. Allison leaves this 5-star review. Love them. Softest, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on. Cozy Earth bedding is made from 100% premium viscose from bamboo. Cozy Earth is so confident you will love their products, they offer a 100-night sleep trial, which means you have up to 100 nights to sleep on it, wash it, try it out. If you're not completely in love, just send it back in for a full refund. Whether it's their luxury sheets, their loungewear, their pajamas, or their new bath towel collection, you're going to love shopping at Cozy Earth. And now you can order their bedding in 5 awesome colors. Hurry, save 35% on Cozy Earth. Go to CozyEarth.com, enter my promo code Megyn, and save that 35%. CozyEarth.com, promo code MEGYN. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.